viewers on E-Lab practical demonstration channel run by ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga. We are here as a team of E-Lab practical demonstration. Here we also have with us Mr. Amandeep Singh, who will perform the practical for all my viewers. Welcome all of you. Let's begin with today's practical. And the aim of today's practical is to determine the kinematic viscosity of the sample liquids with using Ostwald viscometer at a room temperature. Before starting today's practical, let us know about what is kinematic viscosity and how it is determined. Kinematic viscosity is a derived property which is derived from absolute viscosity. All fluids have a characteristic property of flowing, which depends upon the viscosity of any fluid. So, viscosity is the property of any fluid which is a measure of its resistance to flow. The steady state of flow of liquid can be visualized to consist of a series of parallel layers moving one above the other. Fluids resist the relative motion of immersed objects through them, as well as the motion of these layers with differing velocities within them due to internal friction or viscous drag. Consider two layers of a liquid separated by a distance of d and moving with a relative velocity of v. Then force per unit area F is required to maintain this velocity difference, which is given by F is equal to eta V upon d, where eta is called the coefficient of viscosity and is constant for a liquid. If d is equal to 1 cm and V is equal to 1 cm per second, then eta is equal to F. Hence, coefficient of viscosity is defined as the force per unit area required to maintain velocity difference of 1 unit in the fluid layers which are unit distance apart. This is the formula to calculate coefficient of viscosity, where F is the force required to maintain the velocity difference between two layers and eta coefficient of beta, and V is the velocity maintained between two layers, and D is the difference between the two layers when any fluid is in flow. So, when these two factors are constant for a particular liquid, force becomes equal to the coefficient of viscosity. Then here we consider the force as coefficient of viscosity. When we calculate viscosity in the form of force required to maintain the distance of the velocity in two layers, that is to be known as absolute viscosity. From using that absolute viscosity, we can derive kinematic viscosity, which is calculated as here absolute viscosity divided by density gives us kinematic viscosity. So, this is the basis of our today's practical. After onwards, we will start our practical, which is having two steps. First step is to determine the density of the unknown sample. Second step is to determine the viscosity of unknown sample. Before initiating our today's practical, let me introduce you with the glassware and instruments which are used to determine the kinematic viscosity. This is the traditional Ostwald viscometer, which is used to measure the time required to flow a liquid from one point to second point. This is the specific gravity bottle, which is used to measure the density of any sample liquid. You need a measuring cylinder, a pipette, a thermometer to determine the temperature of the sample liquid, then your stock water sample, distilled water sample as standard sample. Along with the requirements of the practical, let me brief about the viscometer which we are using to determine the viscosity. This is our traditional viscometer, which is having two tubes joined by a U-tube, which is a connector for that. It consists of two bulbs one is the broad one and second one is the small one. You have to pour your sample from wider limb to transfer the liquid. Then after that you have to take care of this thing that the fluid should move from a capillary tube and into the bulb tube, which is having two marks, mark A and mark B. Lower mark is B and upper mark is A. Above to the second part of the capillary tube there is a rubber tube to suck the liquid from point B of the capillary tube to the A mark, upper mark of the tube. Then after doing this, when sufficient amount of liquid has been sucked from A point, then you need to start your stopwatch and let the fluid flow from A point to B point and record the time. First step of the practical is to transfer the standard liquid into Ostwald viscometer. Transfer the standard liquid with the aid of pipette into the wider limb of viscometer. The volume of the liquid should be sufficient so that it may cross the U-tube portion of the capillary, so that it would be convenient to suck the water into second bulb, that is from B mark to A mark. Now we will suck the water which has been used as standard sample. Fill the water just above the A mark of the second bulb. Meanwhile, turn on the stopwatch and allow the water to release from A point to B point of the second bulb. Note the time from A point to B point. Repeat this step thrice for a same liquid so that you can get an accurate value for the time taken by the fluid to flow from A point to B point. And after onwards, repeat the same step for 3 times for your liquid sample to determine its viscosity and time taken to flow the sample liquid from point A to B, and use that time taken reading to calculate your viscosity in calculations. Moving on to next step, that is determination of viscosity of unknown sample. For that we need to weigh specific gravity bottle first without any liquid. Then we have to weigh it for our standard sample, that is distilled water. Similarly, we will again weigh empty specific gravity bottle and then we will reweigh it after addition of our sample liquid. Now we will do it practically. Place the specific gravity bottle on weighing balance and note down the reading for weight of empty specific gravity bottle. Then weigh the specific gravity bottle with our standard sample, that is distilled water. Place the gravity bottle on weighing balance and note down the reading of the weight after addition of the distilled water. After that, repeat the weighing for our sample liquid. Here we are using glycerine as our sample, and place the filled specific gravity bottle on weighing balance and note down the reading for its weight. In similar way, repeat the weighing readings for both the samples, that is standard sample and our sample liquid, for 3 times to obtain an accurate reading. Observed readings are to be employed in the given formulas. As we have done our practical in 2 steps. First one was to determine the density of the known and unknown sample. Both we have calculated mean time taken by both the sample and our standard liquid for flowing A to B point. So that we have to employ here to determine kinematic viscosity. Firstly, we will insert our observation into the formula. First of all, we weigh specific gravity bottle with empty, and that is to be considered designated as W1. Then after onwards we calculated our weight of distilled water in our specific gravity bottle, that is to be designated as W2. After onwards, in same procedure, after washing the specific gravity bottle, we weighed the sample liquid weight along with the specific gravity bottle, and that has been designated as W3. After onwards, we need to calculate the density of the liquid. As we know, the formula for density of liquid is mass of liquid upon mass of equal volume of standard liquid, that we have used water. Density calculated from previous step, that is density for unknown sample, has to be employed for calculating the viscosity of unknown sample, where eta 2 is symbolized for viscosity of unknown sample. The formula of calculating viscosity is rho 2 upon rho 1 into rho T2 upon T1 into eta 1. Here rho 2 is the density of our unknown sample, which we have calculated in the previous step. Along with the T2 means the time taken by the unknown sample for flowing from point A to B in the Ostwald viscometer. In second, rho 1 designates the density of water, which is standard, and T1, which we calculated in the previous step, that time taken by water for flowing from point A to B, that has to be inserted over here. We know water has a standard viscosity at room temperature, that is 0.997 at room temperature. That has to be inserted in the formula, that will give us the viscosity of our unknown sample. What we have got here, that is our absolute viscosity, but we need to calculate the kinematic viscosity. To calculate kinematic viscosity, use the formula absolute viscosity divided by density, that I have already explained you in the starting of the practical. So that will give you the final kinematic viscosity of the unknown sample that we have calculated today. Significance of calculating kinematic viscosity is that in our formulations, in pharmaceutical as well as other formulations, we need to use the liquid ingredients. To use them in any formulation, we must know the flow rate and tendency, and what happens if we imply shear stress on the liquids, which affects the flow of viscosity. Shear stress means force, which gives the absolute viscosity. So all these factors are interlinked. So temperature also plays a crucial role in the viscosity of any liquid. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching our practical demo video.
Thank you all my dear viewers. Hope you will like this video. Follow us for further practical demonstrations on ISF YouTube channel. If you have any query, then you can click the link given below, and hope you will enjoy the video. Thank you.